You ever want to listen to those old tapes again, just for the sound of it? If you remember, throwing in a tape in your Walkman or anything like that, sometimes you want that nostalgic flavor, that nostalgic feel of the analog sound. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that and put it on your CD. You'll be able to put it on the MP3 player, anything that you want. This method could also be used for mixtapes. I remember throwing them together for games such as this. Musicians can use this process too. In fact, Alice in Chains for the song Grind threw an analog flavor on one of their leads by recording it onto an 8-track analog tape recorder first. It's important to note that there's a leader on this tape. The wonderful thing about having this tape recorder is that it has this record mute button. All you do is you hit record, and then you hit record mute. It advances the tape a little bit, and if you hit this button twice, it advances past any leader almost one full turn on the spool. Nice. It is also important that if you use any sound enhancing or equalizing, any kind of effects at all, when you're listening to your music, you want to turn all of that off. You want to go down here and equalize it to flat. If you've never recorded on cassette tape much, it's important to barely clip the signal. Just barely. Use your monitor earphones to make sure you're not distorting it. But there is a little bit of signal loss and volume loss when you're recording analog. So you compensate with just a bit of clipping to offset that. Okay, so now you want to take and hook this up into an external amp and see how it sounds. The monitor earphones are good for sound check as far as if it's distorting or not, but you definitely want to make sure that your tape turned out okay. There's no factory flaws in your recording tape. As you can see, that is on the line out. Later on that will be important. The lines from the computer now are running in. Notice how I said to slightly clip your signal. You'll see the red lines here, that's your clipping line, and it's barely crossing it now. Before it was going all the way up to there. You want to go from the line out on your tape recorder to the back of your computer, and on the back of the computer you want to plug it to the in on your sound card. And what that's going to do is allow you to play the tape that you just recorded and record it back onto your computer digitally. Okay, for recording programs, I'm using Audacity only because it's free. But when you're recording digitally, you want to set it just a hair under clipping. The Audacity program works much like any other kind of recording program. You can kind of see where the songs end usually. Is this point, it's right here where it gets really small. I know on Audacity it's Control B, and that breaks the track, and that is how you're going to set up your individual tracks. If you scroll in by holding Control, it will zoom into the tracks. It's really easy to set your end point of your track on the beginning note of the next track, and then all you have to do from there is, once you get all your tracks broke up, you name them, and then you just save them as individual WAV files. You're going to want to make a file path for this so that it's recognizable for your codec program or whatever program you use to burn discs. You're going to right click, create new folder, name it. Then you want to put it in another folder for an album. You can use various artists if you're doing that. And then this is your final destination for your WAV files, note that you want to put 0102 in front of your tracks so that they don't save alphabetically. Now we're going to right click and we will choose the option to send to, and then we'll put a blank disk in there and DVD RW or whatever your disk drive may be, and then from there it will ask you if you want it to be a audio file. You say yes, and voila, you've got a tape on CD.